Welcome to Dodgers Dogs. As part of the Dodgers Daily Network, Casey Porter here, joined by Mark Watkins, as I am each and every Tuesday and Thursday. Mark's going to Rancho tonight to cover some Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. Hopefully we can get things worked out and get you some media credentials so we can go more often than maybe some LA games, but looking forward to that tonight. First of all, Mark.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited about that. Definitely. Unfortunately, I won't be able to watch the whole game, but I'll be able to catch the beginning of it because I have some other things going on tonight. But yeah, I haven't been able to make it out to a game yet this year, and I'm super excited about seeing the Quakes. A lot of talent on that team.
Tell you another thing that's exciting, and I think most people probably did predict this. Coming back home, the schedule eased up. You had the Pirates and now the Marlins, and then you're back home. So this was kind of that stretch where you go, hey, this is a situation where a week later we can feel a lot better about things. That has happened.
Yes, absolutely. It was somewhat predictable. We were able to predict it a little bit, but it's great they went on that 5-game run. It is the Pirates and the Marlins, so you have to take that into account. But as we mentioned in our last podcast, all these teams are able to beat you, if you don't play your A game. So the Dodgers stepped up and did what they needed to do to beat these two teams.
They absolutely did, and part of that was because, with the injury information from Blake Snell, Tyler Glasnow, Michael Kopech is still out. I mean, you're on pins and needles at all times with the Dodgers pitching staff. A bunch of the younger guys, like Kyle Hurt and Gavin Stone, Emmett Sheehan. I mean, it's constant. So whenever you get somebody back, it's like a breath of fresh air. And that the Dodgers got the Catman back, so it was great to see him go out there and do his thing.
Yes, I mean that's been the strength of the Dodgers really, and something they've really focused on. I know over the last decade or so is that just having a strong 40-man roster. And if you look at the list of all the pitchers that are on the DL right now, I was looking at it the other day. It's like 15 pitchers or something. It's just crazy. I mean, if you could fill out a couple of good rotations with all the pitchers they have on their IL. I still want to say DL sometimes.
Yeah.
On their IL.
Go ahead and say it. We know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but it was great to see Tony Gonsolin come back so strong. Give him 6 great innings. Obviously he made a mistake on one pitch with the home run. Sauer's kind of like the whole offense for the Marlins. That guy can hit, but he hit that 2-run home run off him, and then they got a later run. But Gonsolin, he pitched terrific. He was hitting his spots. He looked like he had really good command, and he pitched a great game.
The wins are obviously great. Dodgers back game and a half in front in the NL West. But, we talk about results and process. There's always that battle this time of year when you still have a lot of games left. And so the process of it is the offense. It's like, whew, thank goodness, man. Like, it's just fun watching this offense get rolling, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, for sure. We talked about it earlier in one of the other podcasts, but they had some guys that, about half their lineup hitting probably. And now Pages is coming around, Mookie's coming around, Muncie's coming around. So once they get firing on all cylinders, look out.
Mm-hmm.
They'll go on a strong run once that happens, and it looks like it's starting to happen.
We know that Shohei's going to hit. Mookie's going to eventually hit. He's Mookie freaking Betts. He's going to figure things out.
Right.
Freddie, as long as he stays healthy, is going to hit. We know the Hall of Fame top third of the lineup is going to hit. But for this lineup to have length, you need guys like Will Smith, Teo Hernandez, Tommy Edman, and then at the bottom of it, guys like Andy Pages to hit. And so it's one thing to be explosive and to have your top 3 guys carry games, which they can do. I mean, those top 3 can win games by themselves, no doubt. But it takes a lot of pressure off them because it lengthens the lineup when guys like Teo, Edman, and Will Smith have hit the way they have this year.
Absolutely, and when they are able to put some runs across the board, it puts a lot less pressure on their pitching staff, and they can have some of the guys in the back end of their bullpen, not their high leverage relievers. They can have them come in and eat up some innings, which is big because their bullpen has really been taxed. It gets really taxed when they're very close games, very tight games, and so being able to have some of the guys in the back of the bullpen, like Luis Garcia and guys like that, come in and eat up some innings, that's big.
It is. A couple years ago, Austin Barnes did not hit the ball very well. To be honest with you, though, he doesn't get the amount of credit that he deserves for the way that he hit last year, especially last half of last year. Now, I understand that the arm's not great throwing out runners. We saw how big of a deal that is against the Marlins. When you can steal against the other team whenever you want, I mean, it's like the Little League thing. It's every time you get on base, it's an automatic double, and you have a guy in scoring position. So, hey, the throwing arm, we know that. But he works with pitchers very well. So where are you at with Austin Barnes? It was good to see that he was able to give Will Smith the day off, and the Dodgers won, and they saved their bullpen for the most part.
Yes. Austin Barnes, a couple of years ago, he was really struggling hitting the ball, and I remember seeing a lot of fans saying, "Oh, they need to get rid of Austin Barnes. He's terrible." But he's so well regarded on the team. You know, they call him captain basically, because of everything that he does, and he's kind of a rock for them. He does so many things that people don't know. I mean, catching is a tough position, and he calls a great game. Pitchers love throwing to him, and his offenses came around last year. He hit pretty well. It was in the 260s, and he's off to a pretty decent start this year. He's filled in well. I mean, if you look around the league, backup catchers, it's tough to find one that. Yes, I think sometimes, as Dodger fans, we get a little. What would you say? Like we get too caught up in every player has to be a star on the team, and that kind of thing.
I'm at the top of that list.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have role players too. I mean, we're spoiled in a way because we have such a great team, and it's a great time to be a Dodger fan. And just not every player can be a star like that. And you got to have role players like Austin Barnes who are really valuable to the team, but they don't. You don't see it in the stats so much.
Mm-hmm. Talk about role players who are not stars. How about Matt Sauer? It's like, hey, Matt, we need an ass saver, man. Come on over to L.A. and save her ass for a game. And what you're going to get in reward for it is a ticket back to Oklahoma City. But hey, Matt Sauer signed a minor league contract. He has major league experience. He's one of those what I call quad A guys. We had been tooting his horn for quite a while. I had said several different times it should have been him instead of Noah Davis. He proved that the other day. I was proud of him. He knew what he signed up for when he signed that minor league contract. I promise you, getting his first major league win, that was a totally awesome experience, even though he got sent back to Oklahoma City.
Yeah, that was huge for him to come in and pitch like he did, and I was really impressed. But he did himself a favor because he'll be back, I'm sure. When they need another pitcher, he'll be called up. But the Dodgers have been great at finding these, kind of diamonds in the rough, so to speak. But they find them from other teams, and sometimes you look at their stat line, and you're like, wow, why did they pick this guy up? But they see something in him, kind of like Anthony Banda. It's like, he came over here. I mean, there are countless examples, really, but they come over here, and the Dodgers know how to develop pitchers, and they tweak their delivery or whatever it might be, their mechanics, and change their pitch repertoire, and all of a sudden they're pitching really well, and Matt Sauer is another example of that, and hopefully he can keep it up. But he gave him a big boost with that pitch where he came in and pitched.
Great homestand, especially considering you lost the first game of it last Friday. So you win 5 games in a row. I mean, you're rolling. The offense is rolling. Your pitching is kind of coming around and all that kind of stuff, and you're feeling good about things. Now you have an off day. Now you have to climb back on a plane. Now you have to go to Atlanta, who, by the way, got off to a terrible start, has been one of the hottest teams in the major leagues. So it's kind of crappy timing for this off day. I mean, it is what it is. It's the schedule, and you play your schedule, and everybody has these periods. But it just kind of seems like an unfortunate timing that you have to, take the off day and stop some of that momentum and then go play Atlanta in a period of the season where they are hot as can be.
Yeah, it's going to be a big test for the Dodgers going into Atlanta, and when you're on a roll like this, you sometimes don't want to take a day off because you don't want the bats to cool off. Yeah. But hopefully that won't be the case. And Atlanta's a pretty good hitter's park. So Freddie, you mentioned I was watching an interview with him last night, and he said he likes hitting there, of course, and a lot of Dodgers do. So hopefully they'll keep the momentum rolling with the offense.
Yeah, Dodgers leaving California to go to Atlanta, but I wanted to bring up a point about something that Eric Carroll said the other day that I thought was. It was kind of shocking to me. I've been in the baseball world my whole life. The state of Texas is huge, and they play great baseball. The state of Florida plays great baseball. The entire Southeast. Of course, California is really big, but I was kind of surprised to find out that 1 in 7 major leaguers are from the state of California. I mean, I don't think a lot of people will be totally surprised by that, but I think that high of a volume surprised me.
I saw that too, and I was really shocked. 1 in 7. That's a really high percentage. I almost wonder if that's accurate, but that's what he said. And I mean, I'm sure there is a very high percentage from California either way. But when you take into account even international players, we have obviously more players coming from Japan, and we've always had a lot from the Dominican Republic, Venezuela, etc. But 1 in 7 just seems really high.
It does. Yeah. It does. And then Tommy Edman, of course, he's Tommy tanks, which I like the execution of the offensive style of baseball, hitting the line drives over the shortstop head, stealing bases, bunting the ball, hitting behind runners, gathering base hits. I like that game for Tommy Edman. But if you want to know why, hey, we always talk about his baseball IQ. That's like maybe the best thing he does. Well, how about this? A degree in math and computational science. So there's a reason why his baseball IQ is so high. Is because he's freaking smart. And by the way, if you go up and down the system, you'll find that in the Dodgers organization, these guys were like on the Dean's Honor Roll. They were straight A students. I mean, this is like all up and down. That's the first thing you notice about the type of person the Dodgers bring in, is that they really valued education and being a smart person.
Yeah, the Dodgers, and I think that's been one of the keys to their success, is they really focus on high character guys, guys who have intelligence as well as baseball IQ, and the high character, hard-working type of guys that really has paid off for them. And Tommy Edman, like you said, I didn't realize that until they were talking about it on the podcast, but wow. And he got that dual degree from Stanford, which is obviously a very good school. So apparently he's a really smart guy off the field too.
Yeah, he is. Vin Scully, I know you wanted to talk about him.
Yes, and I was going to show you my shirt.
Oh, nice drip. Nice drip, Mark. Look at that. Yeah. That's a nice drip right there.
Yeah, but Vin Scully, I miss him every day, like every broadcast, because he was kind of a hero of mine. And I was one of those kids who grew up with listening with the transistor radio every night to Vin, and he was, along with Jerry Doggett, Ross Porter, they were amazing, and we were talking about being spoiled as a Dodger fan. That that was amazing to grow up listening to Vin and those guys. Okay, I noticed you're Facebook friends with Ross Porter, right? That's gotta be cool. I am, you ever communicate with him? What's that? Have you ever communicated with him on Facebook or anything? Communicated with Ross yet? I've actually communicated with Jaime Herrin and Pepe Iniguez, and they nice. Seem like really great guys. They're very open and very friendly, and I've been able to meet Rick Monday, Charlie Steiner, or cool. They've all been really great guys in person. So that was. How'd you get that done? How did you just walk up to him and introduce yourself, or how'd that work? Yeah, it's after one of the spring training games actually that I met Rick Monday and Charlie Steiner, and Oral Hershiser. I met him at Dallas Cowboys game. I just happened to be sitting near him, and I was just like starstruck when I saw him. Yeah. And is he a Dallas Cowboys fan? Yeah, I am. Yeah. Is Oral Hershiser a Dallas Cowboys fan? Well, my ex-wife bought me tickets to go for my 40th birthday to go to a Cowboys game, and so we went. And I'm standing there, and Oral Hershiser comes walking down the aisle. I'm like, "You're Oral Hershiser," And I shook his hand, took a picture with him and stuff, and cool. He was really nice. He's with his son, but he was in the front office of the Rangers at that time. So okay, that makes sense. Cowboys fan, but it was a thrill to meet him there. That makes sense. Hey, let's take a trip down the farm. I know the first guy that you want to talk about is this young man, Josue DePaula. How about it? Yeah, DePaula. He's one of the younger guys in the Midwest League, and I know at the end of last year, he said the average age, he was 3 years younger than the average age of players in that league. But he has such an advanced approach. his walk rate is higher than his strikeout rate, which you love to see. And he's starting to show the power that he's going to have eventually, I'm sure. But he's another guy that I saw at the Quake, going out to a Quakes game. And I mentioned last week that Dalton rushing the ball just comes off his bat differently. It's similar with Josue DePaula. He's on the fast track to the major leagues. I think he'll probably, within a couple of years, I would imagine he'll be knocking on the door.
Yeah. And here's a grand slam from him right there. And you mentioned the big thing there, the walk rate higher than the strikeout rate, and it's not necessarily the power potential. It's because he already puts the power behind the ball. His exit velos, I mean, like he'll hit like 108, 109 mile an hour singles. So he already hits the ball hard enough. It's not about the power; it's about the lift. Can he get the? So the question is with Josue DePaula, can he consistently get the ball in the air and still keep those walk rates and those strikeout rates at a level that he's at right now? That's going to be the question. Can you get him to 20, 25 home runs a year while also keeping the bat-to-ball skills that he has at the moment? I think that's the big question for DePaula that we'll see as he goes through the minor leagues.
Yeah, and it's kind of a trade-off. I know with a lot of times they try to get that launch angle with a lot of guys, and it takes away from their ability to hit consistently and hit for average. So I almost wouldn't want to tinker with it too much, but he is starting to lift the ball more, if I feel like, and hit for more power. But I think on the major league level, he could still be a 30 home run guy.
Yeah, I would. Well, yeah, if he gets the ball in the air, I mean, he definitely hits the ball hard enough, no doubt about it. Him and Zaire Hope both, they hit the ball very, very hard. So the next guy I know you wanted to talk about is this guy right here, Mike Sirota. Mike Sirota has been one of the hottest hitters in all of minor league baseball. He has been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, he's. Him and Kendall George. We've talked about the athleticism in the Dodger organization, and they both kind of do it all on the field with their defense and their speed and their hitting. And he's been really impressive. We talked about how his swing kind of looks a lot like Paul Molitor.
Yeah.
But Sirota, he's really impressive with his all around ability. He's made some nice catches in the outfield too, I've seen.
What do you like most about him?
Well, I just like his speed.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm a guy who loves seeing speed on the field, and it translates to the base pass and his game defensively too.
Yeah. So I like, and I'm going to go that a little bit step further. So when you're fast, and then you also have an offensive game that matches your speed, to take advantage of that speed, that's whenever I think you really have something. So it's one thing to be fast, like Damon Keith. I'll use him as an example. Damon Keith is extremely fast, but he likes to hit the ball in the air. So he doesn't always take advantage of his speed because he's trying to hit home runs. He's trying to slug. Right. So what I really like about Mike Sirota is not only is he very fast, but him and Kellen Lindsey both. He's actually developed an offensive game that has centered around his speed, and I think that's very exciting.
Yeah, you like to see that, definitely, and it's one we talked about too. How sometimes guys lay down bunts, and Miguel Rojas did that in the Dodger game, by the way. But
he did.
I love to see that when guys have speed like that, and they, like you said, they can hit the ball on the ground and use their speed to beat it out, or they bunt and get bunt singles from it, and that's kind of a lost art with everybody focusing on launch angles in the Major League Baseball these days.
Yeah, just the line drive approach, the middle of the field approach, the opposite field approach. I just absolutely love it with Mike Sirota. Here's another guy. We're going to show him stealing bases here. You are going to have to be at 3.0, 3.1, probably 3.2 is not going to get it for Kendall George, and that's well below what average Major League pitchers and catchers are able to do in terms of the time the pitcher delivers it to the time that it gets to the catcher throws it, and it gets to the second baseman. Anything under 3.3 is really good, and you're going to need to be around 3.1, maybe a 3.0 to get Kendall George out. This dude can run.
Yeah, he's blazing fast, and he has really good, bat to ball skills too, which is encouraging. He hasn't really shown much power yet. I don't know if that'll develop in time, but
a little more this year. I think he has 3 home runs. He only had 1 coming into this year. So
okay, yeah. So I think there's a good chance that could develop over time, or maybe even if he's like a gap hitter.
Yeah, matter of fact, here's one. There's a home run.
There you go.
How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what do you like the most? Obviously the speed, but take out the speed. Just in terms of offense and defense, what do you like about George?
Just his, ability to make contact consistently. He has an advanced approach, I would say, as a hitter, and he's patient at the plate and uses the whole field, as we saw there. So those are all really important qualities. I honestly haven't been able to see him play defense too much lately, but I know he's pretty highly regarded defensively.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's get to our last topic of conversation down on the farm, and that is, of course, this isn't a prospect. This is a Hall of Famer that you're looking at, but it is down the farm. That's Alex Freeland behind him there. This is Clayton Kershaw, who threw to Dalton Rushing, by the way. I got a chance to be a part of the postgame interview and ask Clayton about Dalton Rushing, and surprisingly, he had never thrown to Dalton Rushing ever, anywhere, not in spring training or anywhere. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But here is video from behind home plate of yesterday's rehab of Clayton Kershaw. So what were your takeaways there from that, Mark?
It's great to see, obviously. They can use Kershaw with, all the injuries they're having, and he always he always battles and he always finds a way to be successful. So it looks like he had a really good start yesterday, but tired a little bit at the end and gave up a couple home runs. But obviously they could really use him in their rotation, and we all want to see Clayton back as early as possible. I know he's not eligible until mid-May, but he's right on track for that.
Fastball velo, I know that's a concern for a lot of people. It's upper 80s, might touch 90, but I'm telling you, if you watch this, the ball moved left. Lots of movement, and then that curveball was big, and he's throwing like a little knuckle kind of, splitter type pitch, and then his obvious slider. There's the home run there. That's in the 5th inning. He's trying to stretch out to, I think it was 66 pitches, so he's tired right now. He's not going to be a velo guy, but whenever you tire, a lot of times you lose location, and so he just centered one up at about 88, and professional hitters are going to tee off on that. So the thing about Kershaw is he's not going to be much above 90 miles an hour. It's just not going to happen. Right. At least I don't think it's. See how that ball turns left? But he can still get a lot of professional hitters out. See, that ball's turned left. It kind of got away from him, but it's still turning left. But so here's kind of a rule of thumb. For every mile an hour that you add, you lose an inch of movement. So do that in reverse. So for every mile an hour that you lose, you add an inch of movement. So he had like close to 20 inches of movement on his fastball yesterday. So if he's throwing it up there 89, 90 with 20 inches of induced break on it, that right there, him and that was just a cross-up between him and Dalton Rushing. He wasn't sure exactly what pitch to throw, so he just lobbed it up there. So what you're going to see is a guy at 88, 89, 90 trying to locate and get movement on his pitches, and then really just try to do all of his work with his secondaries, his curveball, his slider, and a splitter. And for the most part, he was really good with his secondary stuff. Yesterday, he was good with his fastball location, and he was right there. See that movement on that fastball? He was really good to that left turn on his fastball. So I think it's very encouraging, although the velo is not going to be where Dodgers fans want it to be.
Yes, true. Kershaw's such a smart guy that he knows he's evolved so much as a pitcher, and especially I don't know they have the term crafty lefties, and
yes.
He's becoming one of those crafty lefties that now that he doesn't have the velocity, and he's developing new pitches, like you're talking about the knuckle curve, and finding new ways to create movement on his pitches. And that's how he's having continued success. But lefties, they just have a natural movement to their pitch anyway. So you can see that in some of his pitches. Obviously, ideally, he'll be able to add at least a couple miles of velo before he gets called up to the big leagues. But he's pitching well and looking good out there.
I would agree. So hey, I got a shot back to us. So final thoughts here, Mark.
I did want to mention Haesung Kim. He's really making strides. It seems like in the major leagues, or in the minor leagues, I should say. I know you mentioned him on some of your posts, but he's looking like he's making strides. His contact rate is not ideal, but he's hit for some power. Which you like to see. He has an all-around game. Obviously, he's another guy with great athleticism, and with his speed, he can really make a positive impact in a lot of different ways. So I think he's making strides, and he's someone who could definitely contribute to the team possibly later on this season.
Strikeout rates around 25%, walk rates around 8%. So if we can get our walk rate to around 12 or 13%, strikeout rate to around 18 or 19%, you have a real weapon in Haesung Kim. He's good already.
Yeah.
He's about league average offensively. I like this because he got to a high pitch. But if he can walk a little bit more and strike out a little bit less, then you're going to really see the Haesung Kim that Dodgers fans are super excited about. So, hey, Mark, this has been a lot of fun. Hope you enjoy the Rancho Cucamonga game. So thank you so much for joining, my man.
Thanks, Casey. Great to see you again, and always fun to talk Dodgers.
So for Mark Watkins, I'm Casey Porter. I want to thank all of you wonderful Dodgers dogs out there for tuning in. You are the absolute best. And as always, it's a great day to be a Dodger.